The first geostationary satellite launched in 1965 was called A. Unique, B. Early Bird INTELSAT-I, C. Vestar, D. Molniya. The correct answer is Early Bird INTELSAT-I. Rotation of a geosynchronous satellite means it's A. Drift from stationary position, B. Wobbling, C. 3-axis stabilization, D. 3-dimensional stabilization. The correct answer is wobbling. The present total cost per watt of power generation in geosynchronous orbit is nearly Rs. A. 20, B. 50, C. 100, D. 5. The correct answer is 20. Noise temperature of Sun is more than K. A. 1000, B. 5000, C. 1 lakh, D. 500. The correct answer is 1 lakh. A 20 mm antenna gives a certain uplink gain at frequencies of 4-6 GHz. For getting same gain in the 20-30 GHz band, antenna size required is metre. A. 100, B. 4, C. 1, D. 10. The correct answer is 4. The discussing sharing of a communication satellite by many geographically dispersed Earth station DAMA means A. Demand assigned multiple access, B. Decibel attenuated microwave access, C. Digital analog master antenna, D. Dynamically assigned multiple access. The correct answer is demand assigned multiple access. The angle subtended by Earth at geostationary communication satellite is A. 17.34, B. 51.4, C. 120, D. 60. The correct answer is 17.34. The INTELSAT-IV satellite launched in 1974 had 2 Earth coverage antenna and 2 narrower angle antennas subtending 4.5. The signal from narrow angle antenna was stronger than that from Earth coverage antenna by a factor of A. 17.344.5, B. 17.34x 4.5, C. 17.344.52, D. 17.344.54. The correct answer is 17.344.52. A transponder is a satellite equipment which A. receives a signal from Earth station and amplifies, B. changes the frequency of the received signal, C. retransmits the received signal, D. does all of the above mentioned functions. The correct answer is does all of the above mentioned functions. A geosynchronous satellite A. has the same period as that of the Earth, B. has a circular orbit, C. rotates in the equatorial plane, D. has all of the above. The correct answer is has all of the above. To make antenna more directional, either its size must be increased or the number of its feed horns must be increased, B. the frequency of its transmission must be increased, C. its effective isotropic radiated power EIRP must be increased, D. its footprint must be increased. The correct answer is the frequency of its transmission must be increased. India's first domestic geostationary satellite INSAT-IA was launched on 10 April 1982 from A. USSR, B. USA, C. UK, D. UP. The correct answer is USA. Satellite launch sites are invariably located on eastern seaboards to ensure that A. launch takes place eastward, B. expenditure of propulsion fuel is reduced during plane changing, C. the satellite achieves circular orbit quickly, D. spent rocket motor and other launcher debris falls into the sea. The correct answer is spent rocket motor and other launcher debris falls into the sea. The owner of a communications satellite is usually required to keep the spacecraft on station at its assigned place in the geosynchronous orbit with an accuracy of degree A 0.1, B 1.0, C 2.0, D 0.5. The correct answer is 0.1. The number of days when Earth's shadow falls on a geosynchronous satellite is A 88, B 277, C 5, D 10. The correct answer is 88. Of the 4 INSAT-I satellites planned by India so far, only has proved to be successful: A. INSAT-IA, B. INSAT-IB, C. INSAT-I, D. INSAT-ID. The correct answer is INSAT-IB. Radio broadcasting is a familiar example of A. Space multiplexing, B. Time multiplexing, C. Frequency multiplexing, D. None of the above. The correct answer is frequency multiplexing. As compared to 17.34 antenna, the total increase in the signal relayed by 4.5 antenna of INTELSAT-IV is A. 14.85, B. 220, C. 78, D. 3.85. The correct answer is 220. Which one of the following statements regarding DSI is wrong? A. It is a digital form of TACI. B. Though it is more efficient than TACI, it is much slower. C. A speaker has to wait it at all for only a few milliseconds for reallocation of channel. D. It has increased the capacity of satellite channels by a factor of 2.2 or more without degrading speech quality. The correct answer is, though it is more efficient than TACI, it is much slower. Which one of the following statements regarding compandor is false? A. It compresses the higher amplitude parts of a signal before modulation and expands them back to normal again after demodulation. B. It gives preferential treatment to the weaker parts of the signal. C. For weaker signals it gives a poor ratio of signal strength to quantizing error. D. Weaker signals traverse more quantum steps than they would do otherwise, and so quantizing error is reduced. The correct answer is, for weaker signals it gives a poor ratio of signal strength to quantizing error. The quality of a space link is measured in terms of the ratio A. CN, B. SN, C. GT, D. EIRP. The correct answer is CN. The useful operational life of INSAT-IB, launched in 1983, is expected to end by A. 1992-93, B. 1991-92, C. 1989-90, D. 1993-94. The correct answer is 1989-90. At present, the radio frequency band mainly used by most satellites is A. EHF, B. UHF, C. VHF, D. SHF. The correct answer is SHF. Orbital disturbances of a geosynchronous satellite are caused by the A. Moon, B. Sun, C. Earth, D. all of the above. The correct answer is all of the above. Which one of the following statement is correct? A. Satellite spacing is not affected by the bandwidth of the transmitting Earth station. B. Beamwidth is independent of antenna size and frequency band used. C. The width of a beam in space is inversely proportional to the width of the transmitting antenna. D. Use of high-frequency bands permits less number of satellites to share the orbit. The correct answer is, the width of a beam in space is inversely proportional to the width of the transmitting antenna. In a stop-and-wait ARQ system, the transmitting terminal A waits for positive or negative acknowledgement from the receiving terminal after sending a block. B. Sends another block if positive acknowledge is received through ACK character. C. Resends the previous block if negative acknowledgement is received through a NAK character. D. Does not wait for acknowledgement after sending a block. The correct answer is does not wait for acknowledgement after sending a block. A geostationary satellite is one which A. Hangs motionless in space about 36,000 kilometers about Earth. B. Travels around the Earth in 24 hours. C. Remains stationary above the Earth. D. Appears stationary to everybody on Earth. The correct answer is appears stationary to everybody on Earth. The geostationary communication satellite APEL is parked in the equatorial orbit at A. 102 E longitude over Sumatra. B. 90 E longitude over Bangladesh. C. 74 E longitude over India. D. 67 E longitude over Pakistan. The correct answer is 102 E longitude over Sumatra. Power received from Sun per m2 surface area of a geosynchronous satellite in nearly what? A. 100. B. 500. C. 2000. D. 1000. The correct answer is 1000. A certain sound has 10,000 times more energy than another sound. The number of times it would sound stronger to a listener is A. 40. B. 10,000. C. 100. D. 10. The correct answer is 40. While keeping the downlink frequency constant, the diameter of a satellite antenna is reduced by half. To offer the same EIRP over the increased coverage area, the RF output power has to be increases by a factor of A. 2. B. 4. C. 8. D. 16. The correct answer is 4. A communication satellite is a repeater between A. Transmitting station and a receiving station. B. A transmitting station and many receiving station. C. Many transmitting station and many receiving station. D. None. The correct answer is many transmitting station and many receiving station. The ending part of the popular teleserial Mahabharat will be beamed to the viewers. A. Vestat. B. INSAT-IA. C. IRPSAT. D. INSAT-ID. The correct answer is IRPSAT. The most effective anti-jamming technique is A. Frequency hopping. B. Spread spectrum modulation. C. Key leverage. D. Once only key. The correct answer is spread spectrum modulation. For satellite communication, standard Earth stations have antenna diameters in the range of metre. A. 27.5 to 30. B. 10 to 15. C. 30 to 50. D. 5 to 10. The correct answer is 27.5 to 30. The Sun blots out the transmission of a geosynchronous satellite twice a year when satellite passes directly in front of it. This outage lasts for about A. 10 minutes on 5 consecutive days. B. 5 minutes on 10 consecutive days. C. 30 minutes for 5 consecutive days. D. 1 hour for 5 consecutive days. The correct answer is 10 minutes on 5 consecutive days. In satellite communication, frequency modulation is used because satellite channel has A. Small bandwidth and negligible noise. B. Large bandwidth and severe noise. C. Maximum bandwidth and minimum noise. D. High modulation index. The correct answer is large bandwidth and severe noise. In the case of a 70 MHz if carrier for a transponder bandwidth of 36 MHz, energy must lie between MHz A. 34 and 106. B. 52 and 88. C. 106 and 142. D 34 and 142. The correct answer is 52 and 88. Which of the following factor does not contribute to the drift of a geostationary satellite from its stationary position in space? A. Pressure of solar radiations. B. Gravitational changes due to Sun and Moon. C. Oblateness of the Earth. D. Weight of the satellite. The correct answer is weight of the satellite. In communication satellites, the uplink normally operates at a higher frequency than the downlink because it A. gives a narrow beam shining into space. B. results in laser signal attenuation. C. gives better beam shaping. D. is easier to polarize a high-frequency beam. The correct answer is gives a narrow beam shining into space. For global communication, the number of satellites needed is A. 1, B. 3, C. 10, D. 5. The correct answer is 3.